is going to be great and beneficial for everybody here. I invited everybody that I thought, that's close to me, because I want to help them, especially with different things that they're dealing with through their life. I'm just going to start off with telling a little bit about myself. I am a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for about 8 years now, and I've always been interested in health. I started off my career with such great energy, and now as I've moved through my career, I've just gotten very foggy, not much energy, a lot of cloudiness in my mind, not only in work but after work. And then I'm dealing with plantar fasciitis, dealing with lower back pains from standing on my feet for long periods of time. And Sarah came in one day and she was super excited, super happy, and she told me about LifeVantage, and she told me about a few products that she's been dealing with and using, and it got me interested, and I wanted to listen more, and it was great, but I needed to do my own research because I'm very much a skeptic when it comes to things like this. So I did a little research, and the more I dug in, the more excited I got. And what this is for me is I also deal with cancer on both sides of my family. So wellness is so much more for me now because I'm worried about the future. So once I did all the research and got excited and contacted Sarah and just got on board, I'm doing little things to, once I started looking into it, I couldn't stop learning more things. So I'm going to hand it over to Sarah, and she's going to tell a little bit about her side and what she is so excited about. Sarah?
Yeah, hey, thanks, Nick. I'm Sarah Harding. I'm actually the founder of Crunchy Supermom, which is totally unrelated to Nick. I just go in to get my hair done. But I typically I write and blog or run a podcast on really natural ways to carry out your life. And I'm actually a super skeptical person, so I don't take supplements. My kids don't even take a multivitamin. But in addition to that, I have a chronic condition called dysautonomia. It essentially means that your autonomic system is completely haywire. And there's no known cure, and there's really no known cause. It can typically be genetic. But some of the symptoms that I've dealt with for the last 4 years include extreme dizziness, and I mean the type where putting your hand on the wall, you're still going to slide down the wall and hit the ground, and a lot of nausea, chronic fatigue, where I was actually put on my first pharmaceutical in 10 years, 8 years when I started it 2 years ago. It's like a narcolepsy drug to keep me from falling asleep because I do homeschool, and so I can't really be falling asleep randomly with a bunch of kids in the house. So I was doing that, and again, super skeptical. Sam and I met, and I'm gonna introduce her fully in a minute, but Sam and I kind of met for homeschool type stuff online, and she barely mentioned, this new science that she kind of deals with, and I had absolutely no interest in learning about it just because I don't take supplements at all. But then when she kind of mentioned something about how it activates your body's system to do what it's designed to do and actually do it better, it had me curious because I was in line to get a pacemaker for my condition, and my doctor said I was getting worse. And so I was just like, well, I've got nothing to lose. I let Sam know, hey, I'll try it for 90 days. I don't want it to ruin our relationship when I have nothing but negative things to say about how it doesn't do anything, right? So that was my goal, was just to provide an honest review of it. But within 24 days, I hadn't taken my my narcolepsy medicine. And so I started paying attention. I was like, okay, now give me the spiel, give me the research. I'll take a look at it a little deeper. Because I mean, just at first glance, the ingredients themselves were fine. They fit most of my standards, probably 98% of my standards for what I would put in my body. So I was okay with that. It was worth giving it a shot. So Nick actually met me before I tried it. And then he met me after I got well and I started running without assistance. So I didn't have a heart monitor and a little GPS tracker in case something happened to me while I was running, just all these things. So I came in pretty much bouncing like a bunny, ready to talk about it because my vision for the last 4 years was like being on a boat 24 hours a day. So just kind of just up and down. And I also developed something here in Louisiana where I go blind in my left eye, and I have facial drooping and paralysis on the left side. And I can have, here comes one of my kids, and I can have just paralysis from it for a couple of hours. And I haven't had that happen since I took this. It's been like just over 60 days. Baby, I'm on this live. Sorry. Hold on one second. We're baking with marshmallows, and that's just like temptation. They're homemade, so organic. Anyway, so I tried it just over 30 days into it. I was like, I want to be trained on this. I want to be able to speak about this because I work with a lot of sick people, and so that's why I was talking to Nick, just because I was full of energy, and that's why Nick's invited you here. He knows that this is important for everybody to take a look at. So I want to turn it over to Ray and Sam. They are my new friends, my new best friends, really. I mean, they saved my life. But so they're both graduates of the United States Naval Academy. Sam was an active duty Marine Corps officer, and Ray is a pilot in the Navy. They both have, or together, they have 3 girls. And what else? They're in Virginia Beach. And I don't know. So I'm going to let them take it away.
Great. Thanks so much, Sarah. And thanks, Nick. So happy to be here with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having us. So excited for everybody here. Nick, congratulations on, stepping out of your comfort zone and creating something that, that is starting right here, with the people that love and care about. So like Sarah said, we're Ray and Sam Allen. I'm Ray. She's Sam. We live in Virginia Beach with our 3 little girls, 6, 3, and 1. And then we have another one coming, another baby. We don't know what it is yet, coming in January.
We know it's a baby. We just don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Human. That's about it. We're not going to find out till it arrives. But like Sarah said, we're a military couple, guys. When we first heard about this, when it was really found us 5 years ago, we weren't necessarily looking for something. Thankfully, we're very grateful. At the time, we didn't have any super, serious health issues. But when this came to us and, we did our due diligence, we realized that this was something we wanted in our bodies like yesterday. And we knew a lot of other people were going to benefit from this. And, let me be clear. I mean, we were both Division I athletes. Sam played soccer at Navy. I played lacrosse. We are always very into fitness and doing things, as healthily as possible. And, we weren't people who even believed in supplementation, and so the idea of activating, which is what we'll talk about in a minute, was not something even in our wheelhouse. But again, once we did the due diligence and realized what this was, like I said, we wanted this. We knew this was going to bless a lot of lives, and we wanted to help as many people as possible. And, 5 years later, we've been able to bless thousands of lives with what we have right here. So we'll get right into it, guys. What we're going to talk about today, it's 2018, right? We have, more information at our fingertips through our smartphones than ever. We're more medicated than ever. We're more educated than ever. We have all this great technology, but, more and more people are obese. More people are diagnosed with cancers. 1 in 3, autism in kids, or 1 in 20, I believe it's 1 in 50. Those numbers and rates are increasing like crazy. So why is it that, we have all the technology in the world and all the greatest things in the world, but we're unhealthy? We're less healthy now than we were 20 years ago. And we know that it's 3 major problems, and we're going to talk about each one of these today. The first being oxidative stress and inflammation within our bodies. The second being mitochondrial dysfunction. And then the third is going to be poor gut health. So I'll talk about those, and then I'll stop the doom and gloom, and Sam will share some good news. So if you haven't heard about it before, guys, what is oxidative stress? It's free radical damage. I'm sure many of you have heard of, free radicals, if not oxidative stress, but, free radical damage is that oxidative stress. And, what is it? It's basically rusting from the inside out. I have 2 analogies to describe what this is. When you were a kid, if you left your bicycle outside, or an adult, because it's a law and it's just what happens. But if you left your bike outside and it rained and you left it out there for a couple weeks, what would happen to that bike? It would start to rust and oxidize. The same way you take an apple out of your, in your kitchen, cut it in half and put it on the counter. In, 10 to 20 minutes, you come back, it's going to start to brown. And that's oxidation, essentially rusting from the inside out, which is happening to our bodies. Now, we're all mammals, we're all humans on this line, and we all breathe oxygen. And because of that, we all have oxidative stress within our bodies, okay? And at the same time, we're also aging. Now, we can do all the right things. We can eat well, we can exercise, we can eliminate sugars, eliminate or limit alcohol consumption. We can do all these things, but unfortunately, our environment's changed over the last several decades, right? There's a lot more that we no longer can control, even though we can go out and buy organic and buy, local produce. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things in our environment today that just didn't exist in years past. Whether it's pesticides, EMFs from our cell phones, fumes from the car. If you drove a car in the last week, likely there are other cars on the road. You're breathing in, the exhaust from them. I'm a pilot. I breathe in jet fumes all the time. Pollution. These things are happening all around us, and they all increase our levels of oxidative stress in our bodies. Which leads to cellular mutation and a whole bunch of other bad things. Now, the right-hand side of this slide, there are a couple things I want to bring up. When you factor in these increased levels of oxidative stress, that is why we're seeing such an increase in so many diseases that are directly linked to oxidative stress in the body. Whether it's psoriasis or, chronic fatigue. Take a look around the wheel, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autism rates. We are seeing crazy increases in all these types of disorders, autoimmune disorders, cancers, asthma, COPD, diabetes. We're seeing all of these, and they're all linked to oxidative stress, which is at the root of all of these diseases. And it's no wonder, it's no surprise when you factor in all the things that are happening in our environment today. The next thing I'd like to talk about is mitochondrial dysfunction. Now, if you remember back to 8th grade biology, I kind of do, maybe a little bit, but what is the mitochondria? It's the powerhouse of the cell, and they convert food energy into cellular energy, or ATP. And as we age, our bodies start to produce less and less mitochondria, but also the mitochondria that we do have begin to dysfunction. And not only do they dysfunction and start to operate inefficiently, but they cause those around them to also begin to dysfunction and not operate as optimally. And when we couple this with increased levels of oxidative stress, it's no wonder we're seeing such an increase in neurological disease, especially with the food we eat today, right? That's why we're seeing the increase in Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, diabetes, muscular dystrophy, cardiomyopathy. We're seeing all these things, and it makes a lot of sense when you really get to the root of the problem. Now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is gut health. If you're in the health world or health conscious at all, I'm sure you've seen, something in the last, year or so about the gut-brain connection. And, why is it so important? It's because our gut is where our immune system is formed, okay? And it's also where 70% of our neurotransmitters for our brains are formed. It sounds crazy, but yes, they are formed in your gut. Now, and for decades, we've been eating, or in the past decades, people ate real food that was close to them, local produce. But today, even the vegetables we eat, for the most part, have pesticides in them. Our meat's compromised. We're eating processed foods. All of this is having an impact on our gut, and it in turn affects the whole body. With the food we're eating, it's no wonder why, our nation has very poor gut health as a whole, which is why today we're seeing all types of diseases associated with leaky gut. They're right up here: depression, anxiety, ADHD, psoriasis, the skin, Hashimoto's, constipation, chronic fatigue, arthritis. We're seeing all of these, and they're all tied to leaky gut, which, couple that with the other two we talked about, oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and leaky gut. It's no wonder why our nation and the world really has all the problems we have today with unhealthy people. So that's the doom and gloom. I'm going to stop. I'm going to hand it over to Sam to bring some positivity back into this conversation.
Awesome. Thanks, dear. So yeah, guys, we're so excited to be here with you sharing this information. It truly has been life-changing, not only for us, but like Ray said, thousands of lives that we've been able to bless just by sharing this education with people. So all of those things that Ray just talked about that are damaging our health, and we just cannot avoid it, to a certain extent, right? Eating more healthfully and things like that. But the things that you cannot avoid are causing healthy people, generally healthy people, to now have disease and even, just feeling bad. I feel like everybody has sleep problems or allergies or just mood issues, anxiety. All of these things are on the rise. They're a chronic epidemic that's happening in our society. And what the solutions have been traditionally for the first part of that oxidative stress issue has been, very traditionally, what people would do in the medical community is they would wait for oxidative stress to manifest, in a disease or an illness or discomfort, pain, fatigue, or one of the illnesses that Ray had already mentioned. And they would wait for that. They'd go to their doctor, they'd get a prescription, and then they would, dull the symptoms. That was sort of the traditional solution for oxidative stress. In more recent years, and in the past decade or so, very health forward and natural minded people have been realizing that antioxidants are the solution for free radicals. So people are trying to get as many antioxidants as they possibly can. They're trying to eat all of their berries, their blueberries, their acai berries. They're super juicing. They're taking their vitamin C, their vitamin E. They're supplementing with antioxidants. It seems like a great idea because we know an antioxidant, you even hear it in the word, antioxidant, antioxidation, right? It neutralizes a free radical. The problem is our bodies are literally on fire with free radicals. We have trillions upon trillions upon trillions of free radicals bombarding our cells every second of the day. And when we're taking an antioxidant supplement, like a vitamin C or a vitamin E, or, having a handful of blueberries, they actually only operate on a 1-to-1 ratio. So you're truly only eliminating a few free radicals here and there. And that's no way to combat a fire of trillions and trillions of free radicals. However, what we now know in more recent years is that the body has a very specific mechanism to turn on basically a sprinkler system of antioxidants to defend against these free radicals. And it happens through a pathway in our body called the NRF2 pathway. So when you can effectively activate that pathway inside of your genes, it actually turns on the good genes, it turns up your good genes and turns down your bad genes. And specifically, it tells your body to turn on your antioxidant genes, your anti-fibrotic genes, which means scar tissue repair, and your anti-inflammatory genes, which obviously is going to bring down inflammation in your body. Now, that allows your body to fight those free radicals on a 1,000,000-to-1 ratio. So now your body is literally combating that free radical damage 1,000,000 times per second, every second of the day. Specifically, for anybody who's very, into the science and health of what specifically is happening, the body actually, the antioxidant genes that it is expressing are catalase, glutathione, and SOD. And those are kind of like little Pac-Mans that go in and scavenge free radicals. But unless you activate it, it's not going to actually be working in your favor. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is that concept of activation. So I want to just highlight a couple things that the scientific community and the third parties are saying about NRF2 activation and what it is. So this is a peer-reviewed paper from Oregon State University, and they say that when it finds a problem, NRF2 essentially goes back to the cellular nucleus and rings the alarm bell, where it can turn on up to 200 genes that are responsible for cell repair, detoxification of carcinogens, protein and lipid metabolism, antioxidant protection, and other actions. In their report, the scientists called it a longevity assurance factor. Okay, so that's what Oregon State said about NRF2. Let's see what Washington State University says in this peer-reviewed paper. They say that NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. Now, this is important because many people will say, well, I'm already very healthy. Why would I need NRF2 activation? Well, Washington State University says right here, it may be the most extraordinary preventive breakthrough. So prevention is actually the best strategy for long-term health care. The problem is we just never had a very effective strategy. Now we have a proven strategy for it. So if you're already healthy, you want to prevent future diseases or do the best possible thing to prevent it. Conversely, some people will say, well, I'm already sick. I already have this disease or this illness. This probably won't work for me. Well, again, Washington State University says it also is going to be called the most extraordinary therapeutic strategy in the history of medicine. So therapeutic meaning if you're already, your health is already compromised, it can help your body repair itself. So I want to talk about specifically the NRF2 activator that we're talking about and sharing education. Now, this is called Protandim. It's the only NRF2 activator on the planet that combats cellular stress through nerve 2 activation and is clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress in humans by an average of 40% in 30 days. That's proven with a clinical study and a peer-reviewed study that you can go to pubmed.gov, which is the National Institute of Health's database for peer-reviewed medical research. You can see the results of that study. Also, it's the only natural product, because I'll talk about this in a minute, but it's just comprised of 5 natural herbs. It's the only natural supplement on the planet that was proven in a 17-year federally funded study by the National Institute of Aging to extend lifespan. They compared it with all the things that we know that are supposedly good for us. They compared it to things like resveratrol that's in red wine. They compared it to green tea, to fish oil, to turmeric. And none of those things were found to significantly extend life on their own, but Protandim was proven to extend lifespan significantly. So it also helps to regulate your body's survival genes, and it's been certified by some of the world's top organizations, the NSF, as well as the Banned Substances Control Group, which of course was very important to us, not only as former Division I athletes, but as we're sharing this with other athletes, with other Navy helicopter pilots. We wanted to make sure, like Ray, we wanted to make sure that this was something that we could share with people and it wasn't going to be a danger for testing purposes. So it's absolutely cleared by all of those agencies. Okay, so I want to share a little bit about the story of this company, LifeVantage, who is the maker of Protandim, because it has a very unique background and it explains why you're hearing this through this channel right now, through us, through your friend Nick, through, ordinary people rather than maybe from going into your doctor and getting prescribed something for your oxidative stress. So LifeVantage began as a biotech company, small biotech company out of Denver, Colorado. And it was in 2003 that they put together the formulation of Protandim. It's 5 herbs: green tea, turmeric, bacopa, milk thistle, and ashwagandha. And when they put that together in a certain formula and a certain ratio, which is now patented, they found in the first clinical study very remarkable things. One, that it reduced that oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. Nothing else on the planet to date can still say the same thing. So what happened there was, it wasn't until 2005 that ABC Primetime News caught wind of that clinical study and said, hey, we need to come into your lab and investigate because this sounds like a claim that is too good to be true. It's not a pharmaceutical drug. It's an all-natural product that you're claiming reduces the root cause of disease. So they went in, they conducted an investigative report and aired it on national television. The results were quite astounding. Usually those investigative reports are going in to dig up dirt and expose something as a scam. What they did here was they absolutely validated, and then some, on national television, the claim being made. You can actually see that report today. If you'd like to see it, just get back with Nick, or you can check it on YouTube. And you'll see that the lead investigator, John Quinones, he had his blood drawn before and after taking Protandim, and they found a 45% reduction in his oxidative stress in only half the time, in only about 2 weeks' time. So that was very profound. And then what that led to was independent universities around the world catching wind of this product and launching and funding their own studies. Now, if you're not familiar with peer-reviewed research and how it works, that is virtually unheard of, that a natural product would get this kind of attention. Typically, the way that products get funded for peer-reviewed research is they're funded by a big pharmaceutical company who sends it into trials. But these were independent universities reaching out to this small biotech company saying, we want to fund our own study and provide our own research on this. And today there is very profound research that you can see, and we'll point you to that in 1 second. But What happened then was they tried to sell this product. They tried to sell Protandim on storefront shelves like GNC or vitamin shops, Whole Food stores around the United States for a couple years. What they didn't realize was that this was a product so far ahead of its time that people did not understand when they walked into a GNC and they were looking for a good health product. They didn't understand why to choose Protandim NRF2 activator, which was a $50 bottle at the time, compared to a bottle of vitamin C, which they were very familiar with. Today, we know vitamin C is virtually ineffective. What we know now is that a NRF2 activator, such as Protandim, is effective in neutralizing free radicals. And so it wasn't until 2010 that LifeVantage, they're a publicly traded company, they're on the NASDAQ, so the board of directors got together and said, we have this breakthrough product. It's all natural, so we're not going to be selling it through pharmaceutical reps to doctors. It just doesn't make sense to go that route. But what do we do to share this education more effectively? And they decided that they had to do peer-to-peer distribution or network marketing, where people could be having firsthand experience with this product while sharing and educating others on the research, showing people that ABC primetime report so they could see it and understand it. All that we're educating you on right now could never be, put in a little blurb on a tiny bottle to stick on a shelf. It just didn't work in that vehicle. It is working in this vehicle because LifeVantage has now grown from basically $3 million per year back when they were in retail in GNC to now over a $200 million per year company. And it is literally just by ordinary people sharing this message and educating each other, and people getting to see the results over time in their own bodies. So that's the story of LifeVantage. These are some of the independent universities and institutions that have funded and published research on Protandim today. If you go to pubmed.gov, you will see that there are 24 peer-reviewed research papers on Protandim, and truly there is no other natural supplement on the planet that you will find this much peer-reviewed research on. If you go to GNC or if you go into your cabinet right now and pick up any of the branded supplements and you type in that brand into pubmed.gov, you're not going to find probably any peer-reviewed research, but you're certainly not going to find 24 peer-reviewed research from the likes of Louisiana State University, Ohio State University, University of Colorado, Denver, Johns Hopkins, Harvard, Texas Tech. You're just not going to find that level of scrutiny anywhere else. And so just a couple to highlight, Louisiana State University studied Protandim with melanoma. They found a very dramatic reduction in the occurrence of melanoma and a very dramatic reduction in the multiplicity of melanoma. So that is on PubMed.gov. You can see that full study if you'd like. The American Heart Association published for the first time ever a peer-reviewed study on a natural product, Protandim, in their circulation journal, because of the results of the Ohio State University study, which were so profound with the ability of Protandim to heal the human artery. So guys, this is very significant stuff. But again, you don't have to be sick or diseased for this product to be useful for you. Like I said, this is primarily a prevention strategy. But as well, if you're already dealing with issues or sickness or anything your body is basically compromised with, it's going to allow a therapeutic strategy as well to help recover your body, for your body to recover and repair itself. I just want to highlight this, this study from the Multiple Sclerosis Journal. Protandim is the only natural NRF2 activator on the planet, again, proven to reduce oxidative stress by 40%, 30 days. But there is a drug, there's a leading drug company called Biogen that has an NRF2 activating drug. And the only way you can access it is if you have a diagnosis for multiple sclerosis. It's $50,000 a year for that drug. It comes with a list of side effects, as all pharmaceutical drugs do. And that company, Biogen, funded a study to compare their NRF2 activator with Protandim NRF2 activator. And this is what their results said. They said, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. So this study, funded by one of the leading pharmaceutical companies in the world that has one of the leading MS drugs in the world, found that our NRF2 activator was more effective than theirs. So this is powerful. And again, because it's natural, because it's 5 herbs in a very low dosage. There's no side effects. There's no harmful, aftermath. So it's a better strategy for the general population. Now, many people will say to us, well, I looked at the ingredients, green tea, turmeric, I already take those things. Ashwagandha, milk thistle. A lot of people take milk thistle because they know it's a good liver cleanser, bacopa. Many people will take those ingredients already or those extracts and say, I already take this, I'm okay. Well, what this is another peer-reviewed study on Protandim that's at PubMed.gov. It actually proved that when you take those individual extracts by themselves, ashwagandha, milk thistle, bacopa, green tea, turmeric, they have virtually no effect in the body. And that's what you see in this chart here. However, when you put Protandim together, those 5 ingredients in a very specific combination, like I said, it's patented for that reason, it actually creates an 1,800% greater effect. So an 18-fold effect in your body. And that's why you actually want to be getting the benefit of things like turmeric inside of Protandim and not taking a turmeric supplement by itself. This is the glutathione assay for anybody who may be a fitness trainer or deals with neurological disorders. You will know that glutathione is the master antioxidant enzyme in the body. And it is highly important for things like muscle recovery, but it's also important for things like brain repair. And that's why people who are struggling in those areas, they're looking to get glutathione in the body as much as they can. The problem is that it's very ineffective to supplement with glutathione. And it's also, you can get glutathione injections, which could be expensive or hard to access, but it's just not as effective as when you can activate your own body's glutathione. And that's what this paper proves, is that Protandim is proven to increase your body's natural production of this important enzyme, glutathione, by 300%. So if you know anybody struggling in those areas, then this is a big key. They will understand why glutathione is so important. And that's actually what stood out to Sarah Harding, as she described with her chronic illness with dysautonomia. She knew she needed glutathione repair in her body. And so that's what stood out to her, and probably a big reason why she's seeing so many benefits already with Protandim. So we talked a lot about NRF2 activation. It is the single most important thing you can do for the rest of your life for your overall health strategy. However, the NRF2 pathway is responsible for antioxidant production, anti-inflammatory response, anti-fibrotic response, anti-scar tissue. But the NRF1 pathway is actually responsible for your mitochondrial repair. It allows your body to produce more healthy mitochondria. It allows your body to successfully repair the damaged mitochondria. And this becomes basically the perfect 1-2 punch when you use the NRF2 activation in combination with the NRF1 activation, because you're solving 2 parts of that puzzle that Ray talked about. You're combating oxidative stress and inflammation with NRF2 activation, and then you're combating the mitochondrial dysfunction, which is leading to many neurological disorders, just low energy. You can see here that it enhances cellular health, so cells function at their peak performance. It improves performance through energy production, so athletes looking to perform better, they really need that 1-2 punch of NRF2 and NRF1. Improves sleep quality and promotes cellular repair. Another epidemic in our society is people are not sleeping. They either cannot get to sleep, they cannot stay asleep, or they sleep all night and feel like they didn't sleep at all. And that is a very big problem. It's not only a problem in your short term when you can't get through your day, it's a problem in your long-term health. So this allows you to get into that deep REM cycle sleep. So you're waking up and you feel like you slept a whole night, even if maybe you only got a few hours. So it boosts the mitochondria production and their ability to network. And it also slows cellular aging by supporting chromosome integrity. Moving on to the third part of that, that those issues attacking our health, the poor gut health, okay? Many people today know that probiotics are very important to your health. Many people are drinking their kombucha, they're eating their yogurt and hoping to get that good probiotic support. Many people are taking probiotic supplements. However, all probiotics are not created equal. And sadly, what most people are doing in that effort is very ineffective. Actually, the survival rate of most probiotics is only about 4%. And what that means is, in a probiotic, what you're looking to do is restore good bacteria into your small and large intestine. However, our stomach acid is so acidic, it's so caustic that it literally chews up all of that good bacteria and it never makes it to the intestines. The difference with LifeVantage's probiotic called ProBio is it's surrounded by a patented formula called BioTract. And it actually has a slow release mechanism to withstand the stomach acid and deliver 60% of that good bacteria into your small and large intestine. So that's why this is so effective. Many people who felt like they were taking the best probiotic on the market report within a couple of days when they switch to this that this is just heads and shoulders above. So if you're already taking a probiotic, let that run up and then try this, compare it, see if you notice the difference. So guys, at this point, we have kind of recommended options if you're looking to get started on these products. If you're just here to support Nick and be excited for him, that's wonderful too. We're so happy that you're here just gathering this information and being supportive of Nick. But for people who are ready to take charge of their health and really want, a good insurance plan for their overall health prevention and even therapeutic strategies, the number one thing that we recommend and what we take daily is called this Vitality Stack. It really covers every area that we talked about and then some, because you get your daily supply of your NRF2 activator, your NRF1 activator, your probiotic, and then it also includes our Omega Plus fish oil, which is a very high quality fish oil, and it really solidifies the full health package and your overall prevention plan. But if you're looking for more, that's maybe a bigger investment than you're looking for in your health right now, the next best option is called our Activated Essentials. The great thing about these two options is that you get free shipping with either one of these. And that Activated Essentials is great. It covers that trifecta area that we talked about tonight: gut health, mitochondria, and oxidative stress and inflammation. But at the very, very least, I know sometimes people say, you know what, I just want one thing. I just want to do one thing for right now. I can understand that. The single most important thing that you can do every single day for the rest of your life for your overall health is taking that little yellow pill, which is Protandim NRF2 in the all blue bottle, one a day, every day. We'll keep the doctor away. It's the new Apple. But guys, truly, that is the single most effective strategy. But I just want to quickly touch on two other areas of NRF2 activation in case it's something you want to look into further. The oxidative stress issue that is in our skin, it's actually our largest organ of our body is our skin, and it is the first line of defense, and it's the first line of your body that is exposed to oxidative stress. So if you want to look into that oxidative stress solution for your skin, I highly recommend looking at the True Science skincare line. It is truly just Protandim in a topical version. The reason they even developed this was because of that Louisiana State University study that proved that it reduced melanoma and its multiplicity. So this is great for repair of the skin, for just, sorry, we get the kids crashing our party. But yeah, it's great for repair of the skin or just generally for anti-aging benefits, but definitely look into that if you're interested. Now, the final thing is Axio Smart Energy. Now, it's supposed to sort of be like a clean, natural energy drink, although it actually is more like an executive function brain drink. This is the best thing that you could take for mental clarity and focus and, yes, energy, but it's not jittery energy. It's not a super hyped up feeling and then a crash later. This is just calm energy. It has some amazing ingredients. There's no sugar, just stevia. There's 5 different flavors. There's caffeine and decaf, and I love all of them, but you can get with Nick and see what his favorites are, or maybe ask for a sample. I definitely recommend this. But interestingly, we're seeing just incredible focus, across the board with people drinking this. So this happens to be one of our friends, good friends. He's a chiropractor. This is his nephew who has autism. And his teacher had to send this home with his mother because she was so shocked that from one week to the next, she didn't know what he was doing differently. His handwriting grouping got so tight and focused after just 1 week. On the left, you see this is before Protandim, NRF2, and Axio, and on the right, that's 1 week after him adding the Axio into his daily regimen. And so, as you see, it's just helping with that focus, mental clarity, kind of turning back the light switch on in the brain. So definitely look into that if you're interested. But generally, we're just so glad that you were here tonight. I know Nick is so excited, and as he should be. This is life-changing information. It's going to change the paradigm of health and wellness as we know it. The concept of activating your own God-given mechanisms, your own genes, so your body can repair itself rather than trying to guess with supplementation or trying to medicate. Medication is something that should probably be a last resort. Living a life of medication causes so many other downward spirals. So if you can start with activation, natural activation, it's really a great strategy for your overall health. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn this one off and then turn it back over to Nick to wrap up. I don't know if you can can you unmute yourself there, Nick?
Hello.
Okay. Take it away.
I want to thank y'all. Thank you, Sam and Ray, for giving us all the information. I'm so excited. I love all the slideshows. I get to see it again. And Sarah for coming on and telling her story and everything. I think it's super exciting to hear about a product that's natural. That's one of the things that when I talk to people, that drew me to the product, and that's what I tell them. Like I said, I've done multiple different things, especially with supplements and working out and doing CrossFit in my past, and this has been awesome. I mean, I've been using NRF1 and NRF2 and Axio for, I want to say, about a week now, and I could totally tell a difference. I have not worked like that in the salon since when I started. The passion, the excitement, the energy levels are consistent all day. So I'm happy to share it with everybody else, and I'm happy to talk with everybody else afterwards. So anybody that wants to kind of text me or get in contact with me, y'all know how, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, or if I don't know the answer, I know who to ask to get the answer. So thank y'all so much.